If I could have everybody stand up, please. Now, jump up and down. Did you land on your heels or on your toes? This is what I'm going to be talking about. This past summer, I ran my first 10K, and at the start of the race, there were two runners who showed up in shoes but ran barefoot. I asked myself, why would they do this? Then I did some research, and it turns out that for the past 10 years, there's been an explosion of barefoot running. But again, why would they do this? Is it better for them? Is it helping them in some way? Or is it simply how people naturally run? This question opened a door of discovery for me, and I would like to share with you what I have found. The main reason that people run barefoot is that it's entirely better for us. There are many names that are associated with barefoot running that include Christopher McDougall, who wrote the book Born to Run, Ted McDonald, also known as Barefoot Ted, and Professor Daniel Lieberman of Harvard University. Professor Lieberman has done many tests on barefoot running. In one of his latest tests, he and a team of experts took 200 experienced runners from the United States and Kenya's Rift province. These runners were divided up into three groups. There were the runners who had always worn shoes, the runners who had never worn shoes, and the runners who had only trained barefoot. Each of the groups were put through the test in both shoes and running barefoot. When the results came back, the shod runners, or runners wearing shoes, collided with the ground almost 4 times as hard as the barefoot runners. The barefoot runners only collided with 50 to 70% of their body weight, whereas the shod runners collided with 150 to 200% of their body weight. The reason for this is that the human foot was evolved with a long, durable arch that allows for the runner to land on the front of their foot and also take off on the front of their foot with minimal impact. So there is a reasonable cause to run barefoot. But does running barefoot still outweigh the modern running shoe? It still does. And it does for this reason. Running shoes cause injuries. Professor Lieberman has also done studies on the injuries caused by running shoes. And his theory is that until 1972, when the modern running shoe came out, shoes that people ran in were thin-soled, much like sandals. This gave runners strong arches and feet. But when the modern running shoe came out, it caused many injuries when the runners landed on the heels and sides of their foot without thinking about it. One of these injuries is overpronation. Overpronation is where the runner lands and takes off on the inside of its foot without thinking about it. After running like this for an extended period of time, the runner's ankle becomes bent inward at a 15-degree angle. Other injuries include runner's knee, plantar fasciitis, sprained ankle or shin splints, and injured Achilles tendon or stress fractures. These are by far not all the injuries that are caused by running shoes, but they do account for 80% of all running shoe injuries. So after looking into the positives of running with shoes and the negatives of running barefoot, why isn't everybody running barefoot? Well, most people just won't give up the shoe, but there is an alternative. There's a solution to running barefoot and running with shoes. Recently, new companies like Vibram Five Fingers have been creating shoes that aren't shoes. What these are basically rubber soles with material over the top. All this does is provide protection from injury from debris. These kind of shoes are the perfect compromise to running barefoot. Throughout history, people have run and walked barefoot. It's entirely better for us, it improves stability, and uses different parts of the leg. There's no modern running shoe that we can create today that can equal the complexity and perfection of the barefoot. This is why we should all be living barefoot. Thank you.